What's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 4 of East Meets West, your one-stop shop for everything CBFFL. I'm your host, Fanshaw Jake, here as always with my two co-hosts. To my right, Matt Radicke, the owner of the Wissinoming Radskins. To my left, our commissioner, the owner of the 1 and 2, both sides of the bun. Had to point that out. What's going on? How was week 3 for everybody? Week 2? Week 3? What week were we in?
We're in week 3
now. How was week 3 for...
Today is Wednesday. We're on Earth. Water is blue.
How was week 3 for everybody?
Clear.
Week 3 was almost perfect. Almost perfect.
Wonderful. Commish?
Joe?
Less perfect for me. I don't know. What do you want me to say?
I guess we're going to dive into that, right?
Yeah.
All right, we're going to get started. We're going to dive into our weekly recap. We're going to start with the Purple Gym. I do this every week. Golden Gym Purple Cobras versus Average Shows. I do this every week.
And what week are we in?
What year are we in?
We're going to start with... Maybe we can get a couple views if we like. You know what I mean? We're out here a little bit. We're going to start with injuries, right? We're going to go with CMC. Obviously, he's still injured, IR. Chris Godwin played, had a hamstring injury.
Won't be playing next week.
Yeah, he's going to miss the next week or two.
I appreciate that.
All right. We're going to dive into the game. Mike Davis filling right in for CMC. I had 62 points between 3 wide receivers. And, of course, my New England Patriot running back filling in this week as my RB2. If you look at Tom, Kittle.
Who was the New England Patriots running back?
Rex Burkhead.
Filled in.
It wasn't James White this time. Keenan Allen had a big day for Tom, a little less than 24 points. And Dak with back-to-back huge games, so that's a good sign for Tom, sitting at 0-3. All right, 1 week down. Can the Cobras continue to piece together the running back spot until CMC returns? Any thoughts?
No.
If you look at their roster right now.
If I look at your roster right now, I'm thrown up looking at your running backs. You only need to hold out until McCaffrey comes back, and then you're fine.
So we got this week and next week, and then he's eligible to return. I would assume it would be maybe a week after that. At the earliest, I would think, but I think that would be realistic after.
He'll probably return as early as he can because every player wants to return early as they can. I think it's a mistake. I think he should sit the extra week out to make sure he's 100%. Because I had Saquon do it to me last year, and it was rocky the entire time.
So you're thinking a move is probably needs to be made?
No, well, yeah.
Even though I don't really have assets to make a move.
Nah, you got Christian McCaffrey.
We'll talk about that.
Okay.
I mean, he can't return earlier, right?
Well, no, it's this week. Next week is 3, and then I said the week after. I think will be.
I think that's
I think he will.
That's normal time frame though for ankle sprain.
Well, 4 to 6.
Michael Thomas is going to return this week.
Right.
Yeah, well, he's dumb too.
I don't know. I think
these are supposedly injuries that linger. So you know what I mean. The way they talk about him is that even if he comes back, it could be something that.
If you return week 6 versus week 7, like what's?
Dude, I had Saquon.
I had Matt and Mike.
Yeah, but Saquon has weak legs. We figured that out.
I have Matt and Mike.
He tore everything in his leg this year. He couldn't survive an ankle sprain last year.
Yeah, it was just like he was alright last year. Just last year, he would get like 2 yards a run, and like nothing for the entire first half of the game, and then he'd break a 75-yard touchdown. Like that's the only way he was scoring points.
I'm saying Christian McCaffrey plays on like 97% of the snaps. I think ankle sprain. If anyone's going to come back from an ankle sprain in 3 weeks. And it was encouraging they put him on IR so they can't let him come back early, like Michael Thomas wasn't put on IR. Also, they did it early and correctly, so not like the Eagles where you put Jalen Reagor on IR 2 weeks after he's injured, just waste a roster spot.
Yep.
But, yeah, I don't know. I think he'll be fine. And honestly, to answer your question, I don't think you have to win any of these games the next 2 weeks with them out. We talked about it last week. If you go 1 and 2, and then you get back a running back and a half.
This week was huge. This week was huge.
Yeah.
Scoring them points and getting the win this week.
You lowered someone that could be potentially trying to fight with you.
Speaking of Tom being in 0-3, so we've had 3 straight 100-point losses for Average Joes. How are we looking at this? So is this just a good team getting bad luck, getting points scored against them? Or is this something that Tom just doesn't have the fantasy mojo this year? It's something that just his year to get the bug.
I think his team's still like okay. Like he got it's tough. You lose the 3rd overall pick. I keep forgetting Tommy took Zeke 2nd. Which I mean,
it's great.
It's working out.
It worked out.
Pure genius.
He did it simply to fuck up.
Yeah, he knew it was going to happen. He wouldn't have taken McCaffrey 1. He would have taken Zeke 1. But
I was thinking Zeke.
He's like he did fall into an RB1 still. Like Taylor's not blowing the top off of anything, but he's still having solid weeks. I think he scored a touchdown these last 2 weeks, so I'm not mistaken. He didn't see the passing work as much this week. It seems like that's going to be a Jordan Wilkins, Naeem Hines, like who knows what they're going to do, kind of like a game plan type deal. But Taylor's still looking good. If he can find an RB2, he gets Kittle back. He's
unfortunately he had a week where he lost, where he had that Keenan Allen game where Keenan Allen breaks out and then he goes silent for a couple weeks. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the rookie loves throwing the ball to the good players, which is awesome. Tyrod Taylor did not do that.
Nope.
Keenan Allen and Austin Eckler saw 19 targets, I think. Or no, Keenan Allen saw 19. Austin Eckler saw 11. So
Damn,
30.
shit, he had 19
Yeah,
targets?
30 targets for those two players, and like honestly, he caught 13 passes for 132 yards. Keenan Allen.
Yeah. Well,
So it's encouraging going forward.
yeah. Well, Tom's got a big game this week. I know he plays Charlie, and that's something that we'll dive into a little later. Moving on, we're going to move on to the Wisconsin Radskins. They were going up against B-Block's finest. To start with injuries, John Brown, left with a calf injury, Russell Gage concussion, A.J. Brown, I believe he didn't play, and J.J. Crowder didn't play. A.J. Brown with a knee, Crowder had a hamstring. I have no updates on anybody in case anybody has heard anything. I know.
No. Every time I go look at it, they're just radio silent on both my guys. I don't really care too much to look at Steve's. I do know that Tennessee is having issues with this week, and they're going to get postponed for a bit. But
I mean, who are you worried about on your team? John Brown or Russell Gage, like you said?
Not really, because I got like
If you had a weak
Lazard
spot,
sitting
I
on
guess
my
it-
bench.
I was gonna say if you had a weak spot, I guess it would be the wide receiver too.
My wide receiver too.
Yeah, right. That would be your.
But I mean,
Your
like
flex.
my flex is fine.
Nah, your flex sucks.
My flex had 3
All right.
rough weeks.
I don't want to talk about your team. We're gonna dive into the game.
Yeah.
Russell Wilson, third
David-
straight.
Can we talk about how fat and sloppy David Johnson is? He sucks.
Yeah, he's terrible.
All of those running backs
Yeah.
suck. Melvin Gordon, Ty Gurley, David Johnson.
All the ones we talked about before the season.
Yes,
like
they
where
all-
would they
they
rank?
all
Lev
suck.
Bell, yeah.
Lev, all the ones in that
Lev Bell.
category.
On to the game. Russell Wilson, third straight 30-point performance this year. Nick Chubb back-to-back 20-point games, and Matt scored all them points, almost 140, with 2 players scoring under 5 points, which is pretty impressive. For Steve, Cook and Connor, they combined for a little less than 46 points. And his wide receivers failed to show up this week. That was the big
That's
problem
another
for Steve.
James Conner. He also not a very good running back.
James Conner is not a very good running back. Yeah, Matt continued his dominance. Just absolutely fucking put a shellacking on Steve, almost 140 points. Does Steve need to make a move for a wide receiver? That's
Yes.
something that we're looking at.
Yep.
Yeah, we
You
have
hear me, Steve? You do need to make a move for a wide receiver. Preferably one that plays for Jacksonville and may wear number 17 occasionally.
foreshadowing something here. I think. Any thoughts on Steve?
I think he's great.
I think we've talked about you enough. We can get to the guy.
I think. Well, I love me. I think Steve's team's fine. Like his running backs are finally like putting up points, which is nice. With Cohen going down, that should raise the value of Montgomery, and especially with Foles coming in, who's actually going to be able to throw the ball deep. They can just run and play action throw. So, like I think that nothing, everything was just beneficial for Steve this week, even though he lost.
Drew Brees. I mean, I know he had a nice week, but
That's a concern.
would you start wavering the quarterback?
It's still a concern, but when Michael Thomas comes back, you're still gonna have to look to see what he got and see if Michael Thomas is at 100%.
He does not.
He doesn't look good.
He's underthrowing like every pass. Kind of looks like Donovan, just without the mobility.
Yeah,
He's underthrowing every pass. He was like
he's not throwing for more than like 7 yards.
last week. He
Most
had
of
a
his
good
yards are
completion
after
rate.
catch.
Yeah, he almost put up 24
Yeah,
points.
but they're all after the catch.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, it's like
thank you,
17
Alvin
yards after
Kamara.
the catch, yeah.
Alvin
Right,
Kamara
yeah.
apparently has the star power for Mario going, and he's literally can't be touched because I swear to God, defenders were running away from him. It was ridiculous.
Did he have anybody on his bench that he could have put in for Chenault?
Nope.
Nah, that he would have, because that
Nope.
was. I mean,
7-1.
I know he spent some money
1.1.
on him coming off that game that he had. And I think he put up 6, 5 on him.
He got Debo coming back.
5.9.
Yeah,
Or
that's
just said
fine.
Debo
receivers,
comes
though.
back.
Yeah,
But
then
might
you
be
got,
back this week.
yeah, and then you got some, but over there
He's got Debo.
you got the backup quarterback, and then I think he actually picked up right now.
Yeah, I think Garoppolo will be back
He might
soon,
have
though.
been-
Yeah, I think
They don't need Garoppolo to beat us, so.
Yeah, and I guess another fact about that game, that was Matt's third 120-point performance so far.
It's also my third and second placement.
And it's third second.
I usually root for Matt in the East. There's nobody I want to lose more. I think.
Nah,
than
he's
Matt.
very arrogant
Yeah.
this year, and he knows that he has a good team.
I can't wait for him to string all.
I hope he goes
9
11-2,
straight
and I get to meet him in the playoffs.
I hope he goes 3-11 or 3-10, whatever that would be.
3-11?
Yeah, actually, I hope that's possible too.
Lose one extra.
He still beat me out.
B Block's biggest loser going to go.
That's the. Oh, C blocks.
I'm sorry, yeah, C Block's biggest loser. Yeah, I'm fucking these names up.
Mm-hmm.
Going against the defending champ, shirts off, pants down, which I still think we need a new name.
It's the least of his worries.
Yeah. I suffered injuries. Michael Thomas was out. Phillips Lindsay out. Left Bell continues to be on IR. And Julio missed the game. Why did Julio miss the game?
I don't know, he's bitching about something.
Hamstring, ankle, something stupid.
He didn't want to put up 30 points in offense and still lose again.
Hamstring.
So this one started on Thursday. This was the game that had, I think, 3 or 4 people going on Thursday, maybe.
Yeah.
James Robinson, a little less than 28 points. He had a huge day. Continues to perform for Charlie.
Good question. James Robinson end an RB1?
Does he end?
Top 12.
Top 12?
He looks phenomenal.
Yeah.
Like there's running back. I know I'm like being really negative on running
backs.
When
you look at it, dude, there is a lot of good running
backs. I'm gonna spit off some names. James Robinson or James Conner. Who'd you rather have?
I'll take him. I'll take him over all the aging running backs. I'll give you that. David Johnson, Lev Bell, Todd Gurley.
Over David Johnson.
James Robinson.
Charlie offered you Robinson for David Johnson.
I would trade him right now.
Yeah.
So you would be better.
Yeah. Okay. Todd Gurley.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think Charlie got a diamond in the rough. I still hate myself for not.
Now, when Ozigbo and Armstead return, does that affect James Robinson?
No, because he's playing like an animal.
Yeah, he's kind of asserted himself as the RB1.
I think they hate
Everybody
Armstead
else takes a
there.
fucking backseat.
Yeah, they hate Armstead. They would have played him a while ago.
Well, he's still on the COVID list, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, technically. He had COVID twice now, apparently. I'm starting to think there's some...
Well, he didn't have it. He didn't have it. He was around someone that had it, and then he finally caught it.
They just... It's basically that I don't want to play Rockwell Armstead list.
Yeah, James Robinson, a little less 28 on Thursday. D-Hop and Murray do it again. Combined for, I believe it was a little less than 40 points.
D-Hop to 1 right now? No, he's a 3.
Is he really? Who the hell is the wide receiver 1?
Maybe is TJ Lockett? Or
Tyler
Lockett? Who was I thinking? I don't know. We can't get names.
It might be Tyler Lockett.
All right. Well, anyway, for Brian, we talked about Brian sitting Brady, which he did. I think we can all agree was the right move. Unfortunately, he picked the guy that everyone was touting for the week, and he
dropped him already.
Yeah, and he did not perform for him.
I know who the one is. By
Brian really needed. Minshew had a not so great Thursday night.
Yeah.
And despite the big days from Robinson and Metcalf, there was missed opportunities. I think Brian pointed out if it was Metcalf that caught the touchdown, he could have won.
If he didn't throw the ball through the end zone.
If it didn't get knocked out, he would have won.
Woulda, coulda, shoulda, but they are missed opportunities. So getting into the aftermath of this game, right, is...
What do you know? Wait, no, he won, no, right?
That's what he told
8
me.
points.
Yeah.
It's an 8-point swing because it would have been 6 for the touchdown and 2 for the fumble. He would have got 8 more points, and he would have beat him by a half point.
Right.
Yeah.
Sucks.
Just start
is C-Block...
Cry me a river.
Is C-Block a running back 2 away from being a championship contender this year?
Yes.
No, I don't know. I think it's too early to say championship contender, but I mean, I would say like Matt and Mike right now. We would say like
our
championship contender.
Yeah.
I don't know about, but I wouldn't put Charlie's team over any of them. But I would. I mean, he's definitely making some decent.
It's a weak division right now.
I mean,
yeah,
it is.
It is a weak division.
He's gonna get Thomas back.
He's gonna get Lev back.
Yeah, I mean.
So I mean, if Lev can be decent enough. Like, he doesn't even need anything great out of his RB2. He just needs, like, flex play out of his RB2 because his receivers are so good that he'll be fine.
Yeah, I think he has a really good roster this year, and I would say I think he is a running back to a solid RB2 away from being the number 2 in this division, fighting for possibly a bye if Matt can happen to stumble a couple times this year.
It'll happen.
Not happening?
No, it will.
Yeah. That's what I mean. Yeah. That's why I said to you earlier. You're due for a bad week. And for me, hopefully it's
strong, and then I mellow out.
He's got the top defense in the league too right now.
Charlie?
Yeah,
Yes,
Pittsburgh, and the second best kicker in the league probably.
Moving on to our defending champ. All right, so Brian can't really seem to get it right this year. Looking at his next 5 games, he has Steve, Jose, Tom, Jake, and Matt. Does this team have a 4-1 run in them? Does that roster have a 4-1 run in them to get them back into
his roster might have a 1-4 run
contention?
Because it's just not good. Like he's. I mean, he needs to find a quarterback that can put up at least like 18 points consistently.
Yeah.
Because
it seems like that's what you need.
Yeah,
because
you need
we're all
that
scoring.
every team
Everyone's scoring. I mean,
Yeah.
that was a low-scoring game, but it seems like everyone's back to that 2 year ago thing.
Yeah,
Almost
where
everybody's back to that
everything's
2 year.
It's because it's because there's no offseason. Defenses aren't gelling and shit. Defenses usually always take a little longer to get going than offenses do.
Yeah, but cut in. Like, there are a lot of quarterbacks on the wire right now.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Like, there's like fantasy mojo. We all know that. Like, some years you just have like this thing, and some years you don't. Like, it's Brian. We all thought Brian should have gotten rid of Tom Brady and picked, I would say, Minshew. I think we all thought Minshew was a good choice, and it just didn't work.
Yeah, I started Minshew in other leagues.
It just didn't work out. Like, he might just be that guy this year that no matter what he touches, it's just going to go to shit.
I'm okay with that.
Already at 0-3, I don't think you have anything to worry about. So I guess we can kind of agree, Brian.
Season over?
This might be
Yeah,
it.
I don't know if there's anything. No, I mean, you still don't give up or nothing.
Well, if you look at it, he has the two in the next 5 games. He has the 2 top scoring teams. He's got a team in Tom that's 0-3 that score. I mean, they score. And then me and Steve, he'll have me maybe with CMC back, maybe not. Maybe I don't have Godwin back.
If you have CMC back against Brian, I don't think he's really. I mean, he's kind of in the same thing as Charlie. Like, he has 3 good receivers, and he has a good RB1. His RB2 stinks, and his quarterback sucks.
Well, out of them 5, do you think 2 of them will keep him in the race?
I think he needs at least 3.
6 and 7 might, or 7 and 6.
7 and 6, I think.
6 and 7 might
you'll
get in the
make
playoffs
it.
this year,
6 and 7 might.
It might get in
But do you really want to start out like 2 and 6?
Well, you get in the panic mode after that, and that's when things go haywire.
You get in a panic mode, you start out 4.
The rumor around the block is he still has very high asks for his trade request.
Is that what you did?
Not me personally.
I mean, it's smart. You don't want to fold on your team, but I mean,
They're your own price tags, I guess.
Yeah.
Anything else from this game? Anything other takeaways?
No.
Now we move on. Average Joes. Or excuse me, not average Joes. I seen Joe. Both sides of the bun versus the sanitation department. I'm going to do the injuries. Chris Carson, Zach Moss, Alshon Jeffrey, Jordan Reed, D.A. Shark,
And then there's
Jeremy
Mike's
Keenan.
team.
Jesus
Mike Williams.
Christ.
And then there's Mike's team. Yeah.
And I'm going to let the commissioner
Keenan
take this
got
one
hurt.
over since he was following the games throughout the day. So.
Cream on.
I didn't write no notes for it. I figured you would have
Yeah.
every note we needed for this game.
Yeah, I'll break down the entire game
Yeah,
for you.
please.
Lamar Jackson sucks.
What was that?
That
Cream on and a groin injury too.
Kareem Hunt has a groin injury.
he didn't get in. He didn't.
He doesn't.
He has a groin injury. Yeah.
Oh yeah, not for this game. He was healthy as can be for this game. Scored another touchdown.
It was like his last play.
McKinnon got
Yeah.
hurt.
Whatever. So good news. Derrick Henry finally got in the end zone. Cooper Kupp finally got in the end zone. Very touchdown. They're going to get Kupp will see the volume, so will Henry, but they're for their blow-up games. For me to really score points, you would think they need to get in the end zone. Hawkinson continues to look good. That's maybe found a tight end. I don't have to worry about streaming the waiver wire. Coming into the game, DJ Shark got hurt. Couldn't start him on Thursday. That was a little rough. Tried to play the stream game with the wide receiver 3. Didn't really work out. But ended up working out better than the wide receiver 2 because Lamar Jackson and Marquise Brown chose the best time in the world to have their worst fantasy game, or worst NFL game. Lamar Jackson looked like shit.
Yeah, he looked terrible.
He looked terrible. He
He
looked
started
like
off hot. He
he
had a 30-yard run to start the game.
through the air. He looked like no one. I swear to God, somebody tip-balled him. I don't know who it was, and said, "Look, Joe needs you to score an average amount of points today for him to have a chance to win." And it looked fantastic. And then Mark Andrews all of a sudden can't catch the ball. Had like 4 drops yesterday or 2 days ago. Marquise Brown had 2 drops. Lamar Jackson had Marquise Brown. I don't know if any of you watched the full game.
Mm-hmm.
He dusted his defender, and he was literally streaking down the sideline. And instead of putting air under the ball, like your quarterback likes to do, or else maybe give your receiver a chance, he tried throwing it on the line, which was fine. He could hit that pass on the line, except he threw it 10 yards behind him. He's lucky he didn't get it picked. Sucks. The guy, I don't get it. I don't understand what happened. Kansas City Chiefs, they usually do well against the receiver. I was telling you that last night before the game started. I was a little worried about Marquise Brown, but I didn't think that Jackson would have that bad of a game. I mean, he just doesn't look great right now. I think he's like the 30-something. He's like the worst passing quarterback in the league. He has less fantasy points than Joe Burrow. He Yeah, and
Do you have anything on Mike's team?
Yeah.
America, do you have any?
I think he Mike's team. I mean, he had a good week. I would think he would even admit he didn't have like a phenomenal week. Like
He was beatable. It was beatable.
Yeah.
It was a beatable.
I honestly, it's a trend though. Like Mike and Matt are undefeated. It's not a coincidence that both of their quarterbacks are on fire right now. Like they are. Josh Allen, another 30-point.
Another coincidence is they're both on the lower end for points scored against.
Yeah, I mean
that's what it comes to.
I mean like I said, I don't think I
can only play who's in front of us, right, Matt?
Yeah, but I mean, dude, you get someone that puts up 96, 97 points, then it's a chance to win every week.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's.
Well, I only had that once.
Hope that happens every week.
I had was a guy that put up like 117, and the other one.
We're not talking about you.
Why not? Well, you're talking shit.
I'm not talking shit. I'm just throwing out fucking facts. What's the plan going forward?
For me?
Yeah.
Hopefully, I mean, I can't trade.
Are we active?
I can't trade any of these losers. Do you want Lamar Jackson on your team? I damn sure don't. I don't know.
Yeah,
I was overreacting on Monday. Of course, I was a little pissed because an average Lamar Jackson game gets me the win. But
yeah. What do you end up with?
He actually threw for 97 yards passing, had a fumble, but had 14 points. He had 80-something yards rushing. So no, I'm not looking to move him. I think it sucks for me this week if Derrick Henry for some reason doesn't get to play. I know they're going to probably play Monday or Tuesday, and Chris Carson's looking like he's not playing. It's going to be rough. I have Alex in front of me who's getting all of his. He's like the exact opposite of me. Like Alex he's getting all of his guys back. I'm having all my guys go out. So mentioned bad juju in the beginning. I don't know. Maybe it's just not the year. We'll see. But try to tough it out.
America, any comment on the game?
I may have sent some Venmos to Maryland.
Unbelievable.
Moving on. Alexander's Great's going up against Jose's Hooligans. Deontay Johnson out with a concussion. Devontae Adams out with a hamstring. Raheem Mostert out with a knee. Njoku is continuing to be on IR. Cam Akers with the rib. And Young-Hoo Koo with a leg strain.
Is Njoku still on his IR?
And he was. He's really hoarded that fucking tight end. Mahomes, 40 points. Absolutely saved.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
Maybe, if not the week for Alex, I know he lost, but points-wise, he might have saved any chance he has of making the playoffs this year, getting them over 90 points. He had 6 players score under 10 points. Going over to Jose, Kamara, back-to-back 30-point games. Big Ben was a big pickup, and then Ridley looking like a wide receiver one. I believe he had almost 20
He is
points.
actually we were talking earlier, he is the one.
He's the one,
where
there you go. Maybe. Yeah. He is the wide receiver one.
Anybody want to put any bets that Alex scores over 110 this week?
No, not against you. Right now, take a record aside. Are the Hooligans the best roster in the West right now?
No.
No?
No. Yeah. I don't think
Just
say
scoring.
that.
Just scoring a lot. I believe they lead the league in points.
Scoring a lot.
Lead the league in points.
I
mean, he's got 2 excellent receivers, and he has.
Yeah, I think he's.
Is Kamara the one? Yeah, Kamara's the one now. So
he hit on his quarterback. Michael Thomas will be back. His running back too isn't like it's Myles Gaskin right now. It's not nothing to brag home about.
Yeah, but I mean,
I don't think you can compare him with Mike's team right now. I think Mike's
roster wise.
Yeah, Mike has the depth. Jose's really relying on a long shot here and like Madison to come, Cook to get hurt or something.
0-3, looking like the better division right now, so it might be a little tougher to get into the playoffs. Maybe not record-wise, but most certainly I think points. Must win for Alex?
Yes.
Right, must win. Absolutely. Can't fall down 4.
Yeah.
Any other thought?
He'd be giving Jose another win, too.
Yeah, another division. Any,
wait, what? He has me this week.
Oh, he's you this week?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, it was Jose last week. Yeah.
No, well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if he loses to me, I think I'm not. I mean,
everyone else is 2-1, right? Besides Mike.
Mike 3-0, 3-2-1.
So you'll have 3-1. Yeah.
I'm fifth.
He would be 2 games back on fifth place.
Fifth place. Yeah, it's must win. Absolutely must win week 4. Alex, must win this week. Welcome back.
Season's over.
The Polska Mafia going up against the Brock football team. I love that name. Injuries. Goddard, Pittman, Campbell, Edelman, Cook, Deshaun Jackson, son. None of them played, I don't think. For Tommy, Matt Ryan came back to life. But he had a good day from his running back. I think his running backs combined for him is 30 points. Going over to Brock. Eckler, another big day, a little less than 26. And the big pickup, I guess, of the week, the Colts defense with 27 points. Any thoughts on this game or the teams going forward? I don't really have too many notes on this one.
I'm finally happy somebody put up good points against Tommy.
And showed
Is that Brock?
Yeah.
Brock has to have, like, I didn't check.
Brock's got a
this,
crowd. I
but
think he might be in third in points.
He's
up there.
He's
He
a
is.
lot. He's in third, yeah.
Yeah, he scored over 120 every week. Over 125 every week. 136, 125.1, 125.2.
Damn, I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, he's putting up points.
Shit, I probably should have looked into that.
He has Mike this week. Hopefully he can.
That's a big game.
Actually, I think I hope Mike wins at this point.
Leave him out in front.
Yeah, he can. He can
Buys
get,
gone.
He can get the. Yeah.
Woo!
That's all. Once CMC went down, that's why I was like, all right, dude, 7 and 6, 7 and 6.
Beat out Tommy
We
and
just
Brock
gotta get
at
to
this
the
point.
finals at this point.
Oh, beat out Brock in this point.
Any thoughts on Tommy? Is this going to become a weekly occurrence?
Hope so.
I mean,
Under Hunter with a loss?
he does have the royal gem on his bench right now, Randall Cobb. He had a great game. Really stuck out to him. So.
How does Goddard's injury affect his Ertz pick?
I think it. Yeah, I mean he gets.
Ertz is still on the block. I don't know if anybody knows that, but
So's Goddard.
Goddard is still
Yeah.
on the block.
I think Ertz will see more targets, and he has
He
to.
should. He's the only
Carson
option
can
in the
hit
team,
him.
dude.
That'd be nice.
Zach Moss is also injured.
Who's the quarterback for the
Who?
Eagles?
Zach Moss, that affects Singletary, right?
Oh, he's back. He's practicing today. For what it's worth.
Stand corrected.
We'll see. Well, that was week 3.
Zach Moss.
We're going to move on to our Commissioner Power Rankings. Commish?
Right. So last week, quick rundown. From bottom to top, we had Alex at 12, Brian at 11, Charlie at 10, Tom, then Steve, Tommy, me, Jake, Jose, and the top 3 were Brock, Mike, and Matt.
That's going to be interesting.
We see a little bit of a shake-up this week. Not too much, to be honest, but coming in at 12, I actually took... This was kind of interchanged in here, but I put Brian at 12 instead of Alex. Reason being, I think just coming off a championship season to start 0-3, it's more of like a, hey, show me something type
You
move.
deserve the 12.
Yeah. Number 11, spoiler, it was Alex. Rough start. Least amount of points in the West. So he's coming 11. Number 10, I got Tom. Also starting off 0-3, really disappointing season.
Huge fall.
Mainly due to injury. I know he was number 3 just 2 weeks ago, so 7th spot drop in 2 weeks. Not looking great. But like I said, he's getting Kittle back. He's been putting up points, like you never know. Then the first team, or the team that actually has a win on the power rankings, but still probably the worst roster in the league. I got me at 9. My team sucks. Lamar Jackson.
I had Tommy. I was like starting to write Tommy.
Nah.
Sorry.
Yeah, my team sucks. Lamar Jackson can't throw the ball. Yeah. So anytime Lamar, if you want to step up, and I actually saw a cool, not so cool stat on him. Actually, I think the most points he ever had in a fantasy game, you would think it was more, but I think it was like 34 or something like that. But he broke 30 like 6 times last year.
I believe play the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Because
Mahomes had 40 yesterday.
Is the commish turning on Lamar?
Well, yeah, fuck Lamar. He's an asshole. If anyone
The
wants him, he's on
romance
block.
is over.
I think he needs some tough love to maybe blow up Washington this week.
Put him on the trade block.
Yeah, it sucks. I have to start Marquise Brown every week. I can't just draft him in like the 6th round. And the day I don't start him is the day I'll have 2 touchdowns and 300 yards. Anyway, number 8, I have Steve, right in where he came in last week. Number 7 and number 6 were flopped a little bit. So, not flopped, but Charlie shot up from 10. He's now 7. So, a 3-spot jump. I think he's, like I said, if he can get that RB spot figured out, he might have gotten a gem in Robinson with what was I saying? With picking up James Robinson, he might have an RB1. Sorry, our cameraman laughed and threw me off. Number 6, Tommy. He jumped 1 spot from 7. So even though he lost, I dropped down and a few others dropped down, so he jumped up to 6. Number 5, Jake's staying at 5 this week. I think he's overall good showing without CMC. I interchanged number 3 and 4, so Brock's in at 4, although he did come in with a victory and he's very consistent with 125 points. But number 3, I got Jose. He's been lighting it up on the scoreboard. He's now overtaken Brock for 2nd place in the West, so I think it's going to be a good dogfight between those 2. I don't know. They played week 2 and Jose won as well, which kind of contributed a bit to it. Yeah. And then number 2, I got Mike still, and coming in still at number 1 is Matt.
All right, they might be sitting at the top for a while.
We'll see.
That was our power rankings done by our commissioner. We're going to take a quick break since we have no guest, and then we'll come back with our league news. All right, welcome back, everybody. We're going to get into some league news. We had a bit of a quiet week, no trades or anything. Just a little note, we have 2 3-0 teams now. I believe we had 1 fall off last week, which was Tommy. 3 0-3 teams. So it'll be interesting to see if anyone can make a run. We had Mike last year. I believe Mike started 0-5. Made a run to 7-6.
0-5?
No, that was the year before.
That's 2 years ago.
All right, well,
6-7.
6. Is that what you made it? 6
Oh,
and 7.
right.
Yeah, it's still a good run at the end of the year. Diving into Fab, we had Harden 5 hours, which is a little weird. Sonny Michelle, Nicole Harmon. I'm sorry.
Nicole Harden.
He said James Harden.
No.
That'd be nice for $5. I would do that for 5 hours. Tommy, I believe, with the 2 pickups that caught my eye. Broncos for $8 and Sony Michelle for $8. And then we had the big one of the week, which was Jeffrey's for $17 by our commissioner.
Jefferson.
Jefferson, I'm sorry.
Jefferson.
I'm
Are you
sorry.
alright?
Yeah, I'm high. I apologize for $17.
We do not drug test here in the CBFFL.
Never.
Or
never
COVID
have
test
that.
or any of that
No,
shit.
we don't do anything.
Open door policy.
So that's pretty much it for league news. I don't think we have anything else. We do have some questions, league questions. So
Yeah,
we're
we
gonna
do have
dive
some
into that with the
questions.
Well,
commission.
before we start that, does anybody have any opinions on the amounts that were spent?
No, I feel like Joe decided he needed a wide receiver that had, and the guy had, I guess, the best week, right? He probably had the best.
175 yards, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like
Switched him to the outside. He's playing the slot the entire time.
$8 on the defense is a lot. You spent $5 on the defense, which I think is a lot.
7.
he spent
$7. I'm sorry, $7 on the defense.
Yeah, but
is
he's
a
gonna
lot.
get multiple weeks.
But
on
that's what I was
defense,
just
so
about to
that's why
get
it's
in. I was
worth
just about to say that. Unless you're getting, 3-4
it.
weeks
He's getting
out of
like
them.
3 out of 4 weeks. I
Yeah,
think.
unless you get some usage out of them, obviously.
I mean, you think about it. You
good money
spend spending $2 on a defense, and you do that 4 straight weeks to take bucks. Like,
Yeah, right. That's what I said. That's good value.
I
right
spent
there. Yeah,
4 last
Save
week on
$1.
defense.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I spent so much. I was afraid of Matt sharking me again.
He said he got me.
And then Sony Michelle, I believe Harris is coming back off IR. And they had that. What's that guy's name? Gunner or something? They had another running back. They had,
Olnevsky?
News just came through, guys.
Yeah, so they
Carson
had like 2 or
practiced
3
today, Joe.
Oh, thank God.
They had 2 or 3 running backs
So you
come
got
back.
picked up
So
Homer for nothing?
$8 on Sony Michelle was a little.
Yeah, they have James
White's coming
back.
back.
In
Yeah,
practice.
right. So they got a lot
JJ
coming back.
Watson.
They had somebody else.
Right?
Is that the rookie?
Yeah, what? I don't know. Something relevant.
When is Damian Harris returning?
This week?
This week. I don't know if he's playing, but he's back off the IR.
He
this
practiced.
week.
So.
Tommy wasted $8.
That's what I said. Yeah,
Of course.
I mean, that was kind
he
of.
signed Sony Michelle, so yeah.
Yep.
I would have wasted $1.
Yeah. Didn't you do that twice?
That guy sucks. Me? No.
Once.
I drafted him. I never signed him. Won't make that mistake.
No, I'm saying previously.
Oh, I
You've
drafted
had him before.
Yeah.
That's how he knows.
All right, we had some questions submitted for next week. Keep sending them in. But for now, we're gonna dive
Thank
into
you,
the ones we
anonymous
got.
owners. First one we have here. Open it to the floor. With COVID now officially affecting a regular season game, do you think managers going forward are going to have not only plan Bs, but plan season Ds in an event a game might be canceled or postponed? How are you going to shape your roster now with this COVID news?
I think this week will tell you a lot. If they postpone the game till Monday or Tuesday, I think that'll be their first option weekly. Obviously, it would have a little bit of effect, but it all depends on how the NFL handles it. If they start canceling games and moving them weeks, then obviously you're going to have a lot more of a problem. But if they continue to do the Monday or Tuesday, even Wednesday thing, I think that it won't affect us as much as anyone would think.
No, I don't think they're going to try to do that. I think they're going to try to get every game in. As long as nothing crazy happens and it's not like an entire team gets it, they're just going to keep going. Like, yeah, you're going to have to sit the guys, but other than that, you should be fine going forward.
This was interesting, too, because I thought at first, I looked into the bye weeks and they didn't really line up, but apparently these 2 games that may have been affected, the Minnesota game coming up and the Titans game, they could have arranged it to where only one of the teams would have had like their bye or something adjusted, like another game adjusted.
Yeah.
They could have. I was reading an article and I didn't read the full thing to be honest. But so if they were going to still try to fit that in like a Monday, Tuesday, it makes me believe they're going to do whatever they can to get the other games if something were to happen.
Yeah, well,
it's bound to happen.
I feel like the league's got to be set up for something like that too. Like they have to have
They have set up
options to rotate a couple.
Even when they did their schedule, I think at the time they said that there's like things in there where you're playing certain teams. Like obviously they can't predict who's going to get COVID, but like ways they can flip their schedule around if they needed to move weeks. Like I said, in that case, yes, everything would get all screwed up. But if they're not moving games like to another week, then I think it won't have too much of an effect. Obviously, you want to have a plan B and C, but I don't think that plan C will be as much of a factor as we would think.
Yeah, cool. All right, next question. We're now in week 4, and as we announced, we do it every week, but Fab is officially a thing in our league for the first year. For those not directly involved with the CBFFL, we're going to Fab over the Waiver Wire system. People want to know, is this playing out as you expected? Is there surprises as far as maybe the amount being spent so far, and what do you think of it? Do you like it for the long term?
I like it simply because it gets out of the habit of like someone just sitting on their waiver spot until a big name happens, and it gives everybody a chance every week to
Activity?
Yeah, there's just
Activity's
constant.
good in the league.
Yeah, there's just constant stuff happening. Like you also get to see other people's tendencies and what they like to spend. Like Charlie panicked week 1 and spent like $60 on a guy that's not even rostered.
Who? Nine Hines?
Oh, I'm sorry. He spent $69. Oh, my bad. He spent $60 on a guy that got 0.9 points that week, and another 29 on a guy that doesn't have roster. So, I mean, I'd like to see how people react to it because it helps us all out going forward to see how people might react the next season. But it's fun to watch.
Yeah, I think it's been cool. It's alright.
You were the biggest antagonist.
No, that's been alright. I was able to, I guess you'd say, almost salvage my season because of it. I was able to put a dollar amount on a player and get him. I'm still a fan of the waiver wire. That's just something that I like. But I think it's been alright. I mean, people are spending. If you look at it, I think 2 people are under 50. Me and Charlie. Charlie's down to 11. He made the 2 big splashes. I made 1. Yeah, I mean, everyone's over. I think still over $50. I think the lowest after that's Tom at 59 or something like that. So yeah, I mean, it's been cool. I think everyone's kind of adjusted to it. I don't think we've had any real.
I think it's. I mean, I love to hear with like I know Brock was the other.
It's cool seeing everybody like
they're active.
Each week, that's what I said. Each week, it's kind of cool when you go through the recent activity. Everyone's making their moves and doing everything like that, and it saves you from the people who were doing the whole getting up early.
I actually didn't get. I was telling him I didn't get Brian Hill this week because I was so familiar with the waiver wire system from not using Fab that
you could just.
I screwed up. So we each put $0 bids on Brian Hill. And I thought if anyone were to put a bid on Brian Hill, it'd be a $0 bid just for him for a handcuff or something. But I was ahead of him in the tiebreaker. So in my mind, I thought, okay, tiebreaker, similar to waiver wire, I'll be ahead of him. But it goes still like that system. So I got 2 players, so I went below him on the tiebreaker, and he ended up getting him for $0. So, yeah, if that I would have put $1 in. Just learning things.
Twice in 1 week.
But yeah, to answer the question, I think it's been pretty good for the league. I think everyone would say that, and I think it will get implemented permanently. If I had to throw my opinion on that.
Cool. All right, a few more questions here. Have there been any surprises in terms of teams overperforming? In the case, let's say, Charlie, Tommy, injuries, or underperforming. For instance, Tom was set by ESPN, and I think all of us have a top 4 or 5 team. He's now 0-3.
Tom, obviously, yeah. I can even say Charlie, because I think before the year we actually gave Charlie a lot of props on his team this year. We were digging at the running backs, but he made the moves that he needed to make. He actually, I think, overhauled that position. But yeah, I would say Tom. Tom has been the most disappointing. Off camera, Mike mentioned this, but Brock's getting no love in this league. You know what I mean? He's the defending champ. He's the regular season champion of the West last year. He represented the West in the championship last year. He's 2-1 right now, and I think it was over 125
straight points.
So yeah, if you're gonna say anybody's been kind of disrespected, I think it would be Brock.
Yeah, I agree. Brock.
Yeah, Brock's had a lot of points against too. Like, he's had a lot of tough ones.
And that's what I mean. That's a big.
A lot of teams would be 0-3 if they took Brock's schedule.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And he's another, like I said, he's another one who he could still very well be adjusting to the Fab system. His team, who knows, could get better if he starts adjusting. Like, he didn't like it. He said he just wasn't familiar with it. So looks like the sky's the limit for his team.
I don't have it in front of me, but I know I had Charlie in the division championship game in the playoffs. So yeah, like I said, I don't think he's not a surprise to me. I thought Charlie had a good team, even with the running backs that he had. I can't think of everyone else's predictions, but
I swore I had Charlie in the playoffs, but I had him losing round 1 to Matt.
I would have to double check on that.
Yeah.
I don't know if I had him in the playoffs. I don't think I did.
But yeah, I guess maybe your squad, I would say disappointing.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. Yeah,
definitely disappointing. I think we all had you in the playoffs, all 4 of us.
I mean, to be honest, the first time, you guys know from like prior drafting that I've taken a quarterback before like before the 10th round.
Yeah, that's what happens when you fall in love with a player.
And
like,
my God, I told myself going into the draft too, I was like, if he's there in the 3rd, I'll consider it, but I probably still won't. And then he was there in the 3rd, so I had to pull the trigger.
Gotta listen to your heart.
Yeah, I mean, we'll
How's
see.
that working out for you?
Yeah, I think everyone kind of. I mean, I had high expectations after the draft with my team. Obviously, I've had a slew of injuries, but I'm holding steady 2-1. But my season can go either way. Like I said, your team, I think we had a little high expectation for you. You're kind of falling underneath that. Brock didn't get no respect, and then that's pretty much it. Tom, I think Tom was probably the biggest disappointment. I think we all had pretty high hopes for Tom's team.
Yeah, I don't know. I even rank myself, I think, ahead of Tom for disappointment because Tom has an excuse. I mean, DJ Chark got injured. Like,
yeah, right.
Should be able to fill in with someone.
Yeah, well, Tom had the same thing. I said this last week too. Like he was the one that benefited the most from an injury and then lost a lot from an injury. So like he just got screwed in that regard. Like for the most part, the rest of his team is still pretty decent, but it's just not having a big RB1 like Saquon to carry the fact that you don't have an RB2 sucks.
Yeah. All right, we'll do one more question here. There's about 3 more, but we kind of went over. One's in regards to the surprising point totals of Matt and Jose so far, and if they think they're still Bill. I think we talked about that already. So
yeah, I think the league's going to be back to a couple of years ago. I think we're not. Maybe if we don't break records, everyone will be close to.
Yeah.
Everyone will be over a certain threshold that we've never been over. I think it's going to be kind of crazy.
The other one actually directly called out the Fab snipes, and what are we like? Has anyone had their players sniped yet?
Yeah, I had a couple again this year. Every week I get hit. I had. I know I had a couple. Offers out on people. I don't know so much money-wise, but I do remember a couple weeks ago. I think Matt got me on the defense. Jose got me on Ben Roethlisberger this week, which Deshaun ended up playing really good, but I did try to make a move for a quarterback. Yeah, I mean, I had about 9 or 10 moves in this week, so I'm sure somebody got me with some. The defenses, again, maybe not money-wise, but maybe someone put fucking $2 more on the defense than I wanted. The Rams, I think Mike got them for 7. The Broncos were the highest at 8, so.
Yeah.
Expensive defense.
Yeah. The last question here, actual question, I actually really enjoyed this question was, have the amount of trades or maybe lack thereof, there's only been 3 so far, been shocking to anyone?
No, this happens every year.
And
we start slow every year.
Yeah, and actually the next part of the question goes out. At this point of the season throughout league history, may tend to be around this time, but do we expect an uptick? Do we expect teams to be more conservative this year? I personally have noticed, I think there's been like a lot of hesitancy with trading. I don't know if it's...
Yeah, people are still trying to figure out their teams. I mean, that's all it is. You're just trying to figure out your team, who you want to keep, who's expendable. But yeah, I would fully expect trades to kick in. Once you get a team 0-4, someone usually has that blow it up mindset. We're going to try to pick up different players.
Switch it up.
Yeah, but I think you'll see an uptick in trades. I don't remember. I know one year we had like a litany. We had like a crazy amount.
Like every other day.
Yeah, I felt like and I had to be 17.
Second year.
Yeah, because I was working downtown. This is disgusting. This is the time when the dude said something about being on my phone, and I was like, dude, it's straight down my day. It's either work or be on my phone. I think that was that year. But yeah, I fully expect trades to start kicking in once people and players be getting injured. I mean, that's the problem. You got fucking players that are hurt, and that's what's contributing.
Yeah, a lot of guys are trying to buy low on hurt players, and no one is biting.
Like,
everyone's just holding strong and been like,
I've offered CMC in a couple deals. It's like it's hard to value somebody like that. You know what I mean? Like it's hard to put a value on it.
Yeah, well, because you don't know what you're gonna be getting back too. because
Or
you have to sit. Yeah, you have to sit a couple
you
weeks.
gotta
You don't know
figure-
when he's coming back, and you don't know what percentage he'll be winning.
You know, they're going to want something on the other end, so you're going to have to give up something. And can you afford to lose this week? Can you afford 2 losses? You know what I mean? You got to start taking all that into account. So once we get into a little further in the season and teams aren't as worried about, all right, I can't afford to lose 2 or 3 games here. Once it gets down to like that, you know, I need to start winning. That's when I start changing more trades.
Yeah, I think too. Like the 2 teams that are starting 3-0, Matt and Mike have the majority of the running. Like a running back's a hot commodity right now. Like everyone wants
Like
one.
8 of them, I think.
And to be honest, like there's no reason for them to
Just hoard them
kind
at
of
that point.
move one at this point. Like I think you both can agree. You may need a receiver is the only thing like you really are looking forward to. Maybe Mike a tight end. I know he said he doesn't want to deal with Higbee, but does he have to? Do
Come
that?
on, Tyler.
No,
Like
no, you don't. No.
yeah,
There's no reason to make a move. If you're
and
not-
with like you said, the injuries and stuff, like God forbid, Mike trades away 2 running backs, and then Kenyon Drake goes down, or Miles Sanders goes down.
Yeah, he's screwed.
Yeah, so
And at that point,
I get it.
You're hoarding and rostering players that people need that could come and it could be, you know, you get compensated for it, or you just hold them and nobody gets them.
Yeah. That's all the questions from
All right,
our anonymous.
We appreciate that. Questions, please send them in. Anything league related, we would be happy to answer them for you. On the predictions for week 4. We're going to start with the Wissinoming Radskins and the Globo Gym Purple Cobras. Right now it looks like the Radskins are holding, I want to say about a 12-point projection lead right now.
9.8 right
I don't know what numbers I'm looking at.
now. No, it's 9.8 projection right now.
Alright, so we'll call it 10. Alright, so it looks like they're a 10-point projection favor going into the week as it stands. Commish?
I'm sorry, it's 10.8. So it's like close to.
I was close.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, I'm losing 1.
Yeah, give me Matt.
Matt?
Man, that Godwin injury.
I know it sucks.
Yep.
Matt?
Yeah, same thing. I'm gonna take myself because Godwin fucked you again.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Matt this week. I said it to Mike earlier week. I think I was so lucky this week to score points and win because I don't foresee me winning the next 2 weeks, especially with my injuries. I got 2 top teams. 2 top teams in each division. But yeah, that was nice to, you know, worst I could be is 2 and 3, and I'm still in this division, still in the playoff. So no, I don't see me win this week. America.
Without looking at the matchups, you got to get your brooms.
Yeah. C Block's biggest loser going up against Average Joe's. This is a huge game for Average. It's a huge game for both of them. I mean, Charlie, you know, we all know Charlie struggles throughout the years. So this is huge. Every game right now is for him huge. But Tom, I said at 0-3. Commish?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Right now, this is like a dead even lock. I got 108.4 to 107.9, so we'll just call this a toss-up.
2 big injuries in this game. If Michael Thomas plays or does Kittle play? Kittle was a full go, I think, today at practice. He was full participant. So,
Big news for Tom.
man, it's hard to go against that Murray Hopkins stack. It really is.
Yeah, you're right.
And Michael Thomas was limited today.
Thomas
He
loves
did
it.
practice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, I don't know. Give me
Char by 10.
Give me Tom. I think he sneaks out his first win. I feel terrible. Like I think Charlie's team is really good, and I feel like every week I pick against them.
We'll be
Keep
able to
proving me
tell you.
wrong.
We'll be able to tell you. Nah?
I'm gonna go with Charlie. I just like his stack, and Robinson's been playing really well, and they're going up against Cincinnati.
I'm looking for every reason to take Tom.
And he's
But-
playing against Washington.
Yeah, I know, but you got. Yeah, I just think roster-wise right now. If Michael Thomas plays,
If Michael Thomas plays, yeah, I think Charlie.
I'm going on the assumption Michael Thomas is playing, so I'm going to take Charlie. America?
Can't fuck with Chuck. Char by 10.
All right, next game on the slate, B-Block's finest, going up against Shirts Off, Pants Down. Steve looks like he's missing a couple.
No, they're projecting Dalvin Cook and James
They're
Conner both 0
postponed,
points.
yeah. So it's not
They're
gonna go
projecting
into
them
the
both
projection.
0, but they'll adjust it later.
All right, so
You'll
what
like-
actually, if you go into Steve's team, I got him at 105.5. So it looks like right now with
Brian's
roster
about
set,
3.
Brian's about 3-point projection favorite going into the week. Obviously, we know the week Brian needs. Can he pull this one off?
Oh, another big injured team here with Steve and his receiver. Wow.
And
Corey Davis and Jameson
this is
Crowder.
one of them ones we can actually dive into. I believe they're talking about postponing games because of COVID, right? So who was it? The Vikings, the Titans. And
Just the Titans and Pittsburgh.
Just the Titans because the
Yeah.
Viking game had no.
Yeah.
They haven't
They
tested
talked
yet,
about their
Okay.
but that game may also.
Okay, so you got Corey
Be
Davis.
affected.
Yeah.
They
James
as
Conner.
of right now, the Vikings. There was word today that they had 0 positive tests, so they're gonna
Yeah.
open. They're actually gonna open up their facility. It looks like they're at full go.
Steve actually has 4 players right now with postponed episodes.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Yeah. So actually, Steve is going to have an interesting week.
Yeah, I'm again. It was wrong last week. But I'm gonna go with Brian getting his first win.
I'm gonna go with Brian as well, just because, he has both of his running backs actually have decent matchups, because New England can't stick everyone on that team, so
Yeah.
Clyde should be fine, and Melvin Gordon has the Jets, which should be a joke.
I think the Clyde matchup's not good.
I don't think it's great, but
They
it's
have a good.
it's just it's better simply because he's on the Chiefs, and
Oh,
he's
well,
still
yeah.
gonna score points. Like they
Yeah.
can't normally New England likes to lock down one guy. Like Darren Waller had to deal with it last week. He had 1.3, but
Yeah, I mean they've never really locked down running backs. Usually.
Yeah,
They're,
yeah.
They're usually more of like they'll probably target. They usually when they play each other, they've targeted Kelsey in the past.
yeah,
So.
I would.
Looking at
Which
this
hurts
game, they both got pretty good matchups this week. I'm gonna go with Bry. If Julio's playing. He's
Yeah.
questionable, but it looks like from what I read, he's gonna play this week. Yeah, I like Bry this week. America.
Well, I want to prop on this because if Steve's games don't get postponed, I think he'll win. But as of right now, as it stands, you gotta hedge your bets with Bry.
So if Steve doesn't get postponed, he'll have James Conner and Corey Davis start.
Yeah, but if Steve does get
And
postponed,
Dalvin.
it'll still count for week 4,
Yeah,
even if it's Monday or Tuesday.
because Monday or
That'll
Tuesday.
still.
So they're gonna play.
No, okay, well then
Yeah.
Steve.
They're gonna get the game in this week. All right, so you're gonna go Steve. It just depends on
Is AJ Brown back?
which day.
No,
No, he's not.
hell of a knee bruise.
Yeah.
Hooligans versus the
Is
Mafia.
that what it is?
That's what it was. Yeah, they're
it's,
saying it was a knee bruise.
it's a bone bruise and something else. I
Bruise
think.
my knee every day. Let's go play football.
Hooligans and the Mafia. Right now, it looks like Jose is 113. Tommy's 115. Tommy's projected high of the week.
He's projected high of the week.
Over 115 points. That's kind of crazy.
That's very impressive. Give me Jose.
Give me Jose. as well.
No thoughts. You just want Jose.
Yeah, I just think Jose's gonna win.
Matt.
Yeah, same thing. Jose's gonna win.
Hope Tommy wins, but
Jose's smashes projections every week too.
yeah, I hope Tommy wins. Nothing against Jose. I just-
I'm gonna go Tommy. Elliott has a big day. Matt Ryan has a nice big day for him. They playing Green Bay. Yeah, Green Bay Monday night. That's when Tommy wins. Tommy
Yeah,
wins
but
it all Monday
Jose's
night
got
football.
Jose's got Ridley.
Sorry, I'm not worried about that. I'm talking about the team I'm taking.
I'm glad you know.
America?
Jose McQuay is still really gay. The bald bandit by 10.
Really? Jeez, dude. Let me fuck my notes up.
We got a nickname for everybody.
Alexander's great's going up against both sides of the bun. How you feeling this week? 112.5. I mean, what's going on? Why do you only have 92?
Derrick Henry.
All right, so 108. He's actually a 4.5 point favorite over you this week right now.
Yeah, he has
Early matchups.
Devontae Adams coming back, and like I said, most right now we don't know if he's going to play. He's in his lineup, so they're projecting him to play. Look, Lamar Jackson. I'm looking at you. I don't know if you watched the show yet, but you
He
should.
doesn't.
I swear to fucking God, if you don't put up at least 25 points against this shitty Washington football team,
He doesn't watch the show.
we might have to break ties. You
Lamar,
don't think
no.
so? He's not a subscriber?
No, not yet.
Maybe you should listen to us. You get a few
You're
tips
fucking
on how
out
to,
3.
Yeah.
asshole.
how to throw the fucking ball. Yeah, you talking to Alex or Lamar? 'Cause I'm talking to both. Anyway, Lamar, yeah, watch your show. You might learn how to throw the ball more than 100 yards. Fucking Jake, what is his name? Jack Driscoll comes in for Denver, throws the ball for over 100 yards. What? Nick Mullins, 370. You can't throw for 100 fucking yards? MVP? Are you shitting me?
Did you get that one out?
I
Keep
swear
going.
to God. He might be in the waiver wire next week if he's not. If he doesn't, if I don't beat Alex.
Oh, I hope so.
He rushed for almost as many as he threw.
And he fumbled. Oh yeah. Also, Harbaugh, you're granted 3 timeouts a half. Use them when there's 47 seconds left and you're on the 40-yard line and you have 3 left still. Instead of rushing your quarterback back to the line where he can then rush the ball and fumble, call a timeout.
Hey man, he's
Who
got
you
a
got?
Super Bowl.
I'll beat Alex.
You're gonna beat Alex this week, Matt.
Alex.
Woo!
Yeah, I'm going Alex. I love his matchups this week, especially with Moser and Adams coming back. I really do like his matchups this week. America.
Joe.
Joe. All right.
Ironically enough, also Lamar versus. Oh my God. There's milkshake
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't rhyme
everywhere.
it. Let's go, Joe. That's the
Milkshake
rhyme.
going everywhere. Patrick Mahomes versus Lamar Jackson. Me and Alex.
Oh yeah. I thought
Cool little narrative.
Yeah,
They
last
played
time
last
I
week.
had. Last time I had.
Didn't we just
Mahomes
see
put
that?
up 40, Lamar put up 14.
I hope they don't.
Last week's behind us.
Uh,
Except for you, Lamar.
Not
That
so
shit
good.
better haunt you every day.
We'll let the commish calm down for a second. We're gonna move on to the sanitation department
Just
going
lost
up
the
against the Brock football team
Milkshake spilling all over my nice little.
in what I would call the game of the week.
Another
Which
one?
you like?
Who are we looking at? I'm sorry.
Sanitation department and the Brock football team. 2 of the higher scoring.
Can't get the buzzer again.
One of them. Game of the week.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Brock,
Give me Mike.
Yeah, Brock's up to 107.
I don't like.
Which
I don't
which
like.
one?
Give me sanitation. I don't like a lot of Brock's matchups, but he has some tough matchups this week. Except
Like
Rodgers.
like his quarterback.
Oh, yeah. Does Lamar Jackson play Atlanta anytime this year?
Matt,
I'm gonna take Brock.
Maybe they'll put up a fucking 100-yard game.
same. I think Brock comes out, puts a stop to this 3-game win streak. Yeah, top 4 in his lineup right there. Rodgers, Jacobs, Eckler, and
Juju.
Merca. Game of the week.
Sorry, Mikey. You're about to get sanitized.
All right, that's our picks. Next week we'll have our records going through 4 weeks. And is it too early to start like playoff odds and all that?
Well,
Division odds, all that?
Did you ever get a chance to look into 0-3 teams playoff
No, I
hopes and dreams?
I don't have the papers with me. I
I
don't.
wouldn't go out on a limb here and say
Actually,
it's pretty
you know what?
slim.
Well, Jay, you won 0-3,
There
right?
you go. I got at least 0-2 starts. 0-3. 2016 Globo Gym ended up winning championship.
Yeah, you only need 3 all-star running backs, right?
And
4
both sides of the
all-star
bond
running backs.
actually 0-5 ended up 3-10. Biggest loser in 2017 0-3 ended up 2-11. Sanitation department 0-5. We know the story.
6 and 7.
2019 Foster 0-3 ended up 4-9. Seabach's biggest
Lost
loser.
so bad he's out of the league.
Seabach's biggest loser is actually since the second half of last season. Charlie's actually been doing pretty good. 0-4 he started last year. Ended up 6 and 7. And that's it for
8-4 in his last game. In the last 12 games.
Yeah, that's it for the
It's a playoff team.
Don't fuck with Chuck.
2 starts. Yeah, and that's it. I don't have any of my 3-0. But I can tell you one thing: anybody who started 3-0 has not won a championship. So keep that in mind.
Why are you looking at me when you say that?
I'm just pointing at the camera. America.
Is that true?
I think that pretty much wraps us up. Any final thoughts on the week? The week that was, the week that's coming.
Nope. Good luck.
Week 3 behind us.
Good luck, bro.
Fuck you, Lamar.
I don't really see it happening this week. I'll let.